I love speaking to the busy women. The women out there, probably just like you, juggling a million details, possibly with kids with you, hitting the ground running before you have even had a moment to yourself. And I come to you as one of these women. This is why these tools I share aren't the kind that only work for you if you can carve out an hour-long morning routine, retreat from real life. Because let's be honest, that is just not realistic for most of us. I always want to give you tools that actually fit into your life in the middle of the chaos when you feel like everyone already needs you and you're already behind before your day even starts. I built these systems for the version of me who didn't have them but desperately needed them. I remember so many moments standing in the kitchen, making breakfast for our family, feeling like I was about to burst into tears, thinking I just needed a break, but there was no break on the horizon. I know many of you have probably felt similar in a variety of moments in your life. And here's the other thing I want you to know about me. I'm not just sharing these tools and tips from personal experience. Over the past decade, I have studied the nervous system deeply. I've spoken on stages all over the world and taught everyone from functional neurologists and practitioners to women just like you how powerful these tools are when we blend the science with the soul. So my goal in this episode and everything I share is simple: to remind you that you already have everything you need inside, and the real key is knowing simply how to return home quickly when you lose your center. That's why I want to share these 3 everyday habits that are potentially wrecking your nervous system, and more importantly, how to reset in the midst of life when they show up. So these are things so many of us, myself included, even with everything that I know, are probably doing without realizing that they're literally creating frazzled, overstressed, burnt out, stuck in survival mode sensations, and simply clicking in with these little 3 habit changes can make such a difference. These are things that I literally catch myself doing. I have figured out how to quickly recover, and that is what I'm going to share in this episode with you as a nervous system expert and alignment guide. Habit number 1. I think we have all shown up guilty of this, starting our day on our devices. So let's talk about this first everyday habit. I get it. Our alarm goes off if you're someone who uses one, often on their phone. And before you've even taken a deep breath, you're possibly getting pulled into scrolling emails, checking your social medias, or catching up on anything that's gone on in the world. I've done it too, but here's what's actually happening when you start your day this way. You're hijacking your nervous system before it's even had a chance to settle. I want you to think about your brainwaves like gears in a car. And we need to spend some time warming up in gear 1 and 2 before going right into emails and the tasks of our day. So when we wake up, your brain is naturally in Theta, gear 1, and Alpha, gear 2. Theta is the dreamy, creative subconscious state. It's where your intuition speaks louder, where breakthroughs bubble up, and where your nervous system gently transitions out of sleep. Gear 2 Alpha is a calm, clear, present focus. This is the gear that helps you move into your day with steadiness instead of chaos. So again, when we can think of our brain like a car and brain waves like the gears, Theta is gear 1, Alpha is gear 2, and Beta, the busy get it done mode, is 3rd gear. The problem, when we grab our phones or devices first thing in the morning, we slam our system, our brain, straight into 3rd gear without the warm-up. When we do this, cortisol spikes. Our body and brain thinks there's an emergency, and suddenly we're in reaction mode to everyone else's agenda instead of starting from our own center. This can show up in real life like feeling frazzled before the day has even begun. Maybe it creates snapping at your kids. I've definitely been there, because you already feel behind, foggy thinking, and then maybe having to rely on caffeine just to function. I've been there too. But here's the beautiful truth. If you simply give yourself just a couple minutes, it doesn't need to be a 1-hour morning routine, a couple minutes in Theta, gear 1, and Alpha, gear 2, before diving into devices, your whole day will feel different. When you do this intentional couple minutes in the morning, your nervous system anchors into a calm focus. Creativity flows. Your brain and body and nervous system feel safe. You step into your day with clarity instead of chaos. So what can you do instead in the morning besides getting right on your phone? Step outside for morning light. So this is really key within 30 to 60 minutes of waking to get 5 to 10 minutes of natural light on our eyes. Play in Alpha and Theta before your screens. Journal, stretch, meditate, or simply breathe for the 2 to 5 minutes. Use expanded gaze. Soften your focus, take in your environment, and look around, ideally in nature, before getting on the screens. What matters most isn't the amount of time in each gear. It's simply that you spend even a couple minutes in gear 1 and 2 before gunning it into gear 3. Have you been feeling a little bit off lately? Maybe you aren't tired or fried. You could just be out of rhythm. As the days get darker, our body light sensors shift our chemistry. Less sunlight can mean less serotonin, slower energy, and disrupted sleep cycles. Not because you're necessarily doing anything wrong, but because our brains are wired to follow the sun. This month on my platform, we are doing a circadian reset. It's a gentle way to realign your body with nature's rhythm and reclaim your lights. I'm going to be sharing some amazing interviews, resources, and easy rituals coming your way, all to help you move from the winter blues to getting back to that inner glow. Because when we sync our light with the season, our energy steadies, our mood lifts, and our body remembers what it feels like to shine again. For more details, check out the caption and information below. All right, habit number 2. I don't know, has this one ever happened to you? Snapping at your loved ones. Okay, this one definitely doesn't feel good. And, everything I like to share is not about living life in a bubble. It's not about not experiencing stress or conflict, and it's not about showing up perfectly every time. It's simply about knowing how to get back when we've fallen off course. And so snapping at loved ones, I think, is like a very, unfortunately, realistic thing that happens to a lot of us. It usually means we've been living in fight or flight or stress mode for too long. But what I want to do is give you these tools that I've used to help recover, reset, and get into realignment really quickly. Okay, so number 1, the first thing I do, and this is especially key with the kiddos, is I role model that I messed up. I think this is so important for a number of reasons, but if something happens and I snap at them or I yell or I show up in a way that's less than ideal, I quickly catch myself and I speak out loud. So I'll say things, even if I don't know how to make it better necessarily, I'll just say what's true. Wow, I really kind of went off right there. That wasn't nice. That wasn't accurate. That's not how I like to show up. That doesn't feel good to me that's what I just said to you. I'm sorry. And I think that this gives them permission to have human moments as well. I think this is really important to role model, not just the way that we want them to show up, but also how we recover when we fall short. The next thing I do, especially with the kids, is I want to make it clear that this stress that I exerted or exhibited to them is mine and not theirs. What's something that's really important to understand is our kids inherit their hardwiring, their nervous system from us. And in a lot of ways, they inherit that by watching how we show up. And so in the moments where, again, maybe we have an outburst or they witness some of our intense stress, I'm very quickly to notice in my kids that physical, visceral feeling of how they're reacting to that. Honestly, even now at the age of 44, I remember experiencing these moments as a kiddo in my dad, who had a lot of stress. And so I like to unhook the stress from our children and put it back on me. And this sounds maybe really silly, but kids are very visual. And so I'll tell them something like, you know what, that's my stress. That's not for you to own. And then I will literally unhook it from them and say, I'm taking it back now. So I'll grab it like I'm unhooking a jacket or a hanger off of them and I'll put it back on me. So again, I'll say something like, wow, that was a lot of stress. That's mine, not yours. I see you took some of it, so I'm going to take it back and put it on me. That is one of, I think, the biggest things that I've done with them since they were little. That's something that a girlfriend handed down to me, and I pass it along to you, and I hope that helps. The third one is I take these moments as an accountability partner and reminder that I'm not taking time for myself, that I clearly need a break. And this is where, I talk a lot, especially for us busy women, where the 1-hour routines and self-care is not realistic. We can't usually just keep pushing through and wait till the end of the day or wait till the weekend when we can actually have that time. It's about figuring out how to implement these microdosing connection tools that are all across my platform and my podcast so that we can regulate in real time. Okay, so remember, the goal isn't never snapping again. I mean, ideally that would be nice, but it's about repairing, resetting, and returning back to love in the moment. All right, habit number 3, things that we're often doing throughout the day that we don't realize are wrecking our nervous system. living in constant narrow focus. So the third everyday habit is caused by us staring at our screens, our to-do lists, and living in this tunnel vision all day long. When we're in narrow focus, it literally tells our nervous system threats. It sends off alarms. It puts us in survival posture. It shortens our breath. It increases our heart rate and creates anxiety. We are designed to have moments where we're in a narrow focus, but we're also designed to have many moments where we are experiencing expanded vision. Think about it. We used to gaze and daydream so much more. In the grocery line or maybe a waiting room at an office, you might look around and daydream or chat or connect with other people. Now, most of us tend to be glued to our phones in any moment that we have. Although our phones can create a sense of freedom, I mean, I love this as an entrepreneur and mom. I can be catching up on work while I'm out somewhere with our kids. It also creates this constant training of our nervous system to stay in survival mode. So what I want you to take away from this is that every time we have the narrow focus on our devices, you are training your nervous system to live in chronic stress. Our nervous system learns through consistency. And so what's really important is to incorporate what I like to call these regulation reps in, where we are teaching our nervous system that things are calm and safe. And the way that we do that is through these consistent short bursts of the regulation reps. And a big one is expanded gaze. So simply, intentionally doing what I like to call 2, 3, 4 for 2 minutes, 3 times a day for you. Look up from your device and simply scan your environment. This is anyone who's followed me for any amount of time. You see me joking about when I go on my lizard walks and I look at the lizards. That's literally what I'm doing. It takes your nervous system out of survival mode. By expanding our gaze, it tells our amygdala, our brain security guard, that it's safe here. Our physiology instantly relaxes, even if you have a lot going on in your mind. This is literally a hack for your nervous system, and it takes minutes. So those are your 3 quick everyday habits that are quietly wrecking your nervous system. And the good news, you now know exactly how to reset and what to do instead. So just a quick recap. Don't start your day in gear 3. Warm up in gear 1 and gear 2 first. Spend some time in theta and alpha brainwaves. Number 2, snapping at loved ones isn't a flaw. You now know ways to repair, reset, and reconnect. And then thirdly, narrow focus keeps us in survival mode, and simply expanding your gaze softens you into presence and connection. Aim for 2 minutes, 3 times a day for you. All right, so let's talk about those regulation reps. Your nervous system learns just like your muscles do, like I said earlier, through repetition. So a 2-minute reset practiced daily does more than an hour of self-care once a week. Think about that. Every pause, breath, or gaze shifts you into a regulation rep. And the more reps you do, the more your nervous system remembers how to reset automatically on its own. You're literally training it how to find this state when you need it most. So the gift is this. Instead of ending your day replaying regrets, you will end more days feeling anchored in calm, connection, and gratitude. Here is my challenge for you. Pick one of these habits today. Catch yourself just once. Use the reset, forgive yourself, and notice the difference. This is how you literally rewire your nervous system 1 rep at a time. I would love to hear from you. Comment, let me know which one sounds best for you. Ask me any questions. I'm here for you. And having the back and forth conversations is my favorite. If you enjoyed this episode, go ahead and throw a like under it. And if you know someone who can benefit from this information, go ahead and send it their way. Thanks, guys. Can't wait to see you next time. Self-care needs a rebrand, and that's exactly why I wrote this book, The Connection Code, and it's out now. I'm so excited. I wrote this for the woman who feels like she has lost herself or just simply needs a reminder that everything she's searching for is already inside of her. Inside this book, you're going to find simple, science-backed tools to help you reset in real life moments, like in the carpool line or between back-to-back meetings, or maybe when you catch yourself unfortunately snapping at the people you love most. I designed the cover and made it playful on purpose because so many of us have lost this aspect of ourselves, and we need that invitation and reminder to bring back joy every single day. Pre-order your copy today, and you'll also get access to some amazing freebies to help you start regulating your nervous system and reconnecting with yourself right away.